All right, welcome to Module 4, training number 5. This is the oral systemic link where every millimeter is a mile. Now, I hope you have a change of underwear because what you're going to learn now might cause an accident. Now, I want to bring you down to the level of the microbes so you can see what kind of other dimensional world we're fighting and help you to perceive the oral systemic link as I actually see it and as the microbes see it. You can't even appreciate the astonishing smallness of the microbial world unless you deal with it on a daily basis like I do. So let me try to give you an idea of the galaxies and stuff of the microbes that are living in and on you. Now remember that we harbor about 31 trillion microbes to 38 trillion microbes on our bodies. And according to Wikipedia, the Milky Way contains about 200 billion to 400 billion stars and 100 billion planets maybe. And that's about 500 billion maximum large celestial bodies, for example. And then that means that each of us contains about 60 Milky Way galaxies of microbes. That's just mind-boggling. It's super important to understand the oral systemic link, which is the band of inflamed gum tissue that surrounds every tooth if you have gingivitis or gum disease. This is the main portal of entry to the body for oral pathogens and their endotoxins and exotoxins and harmful metabolites. Remember I said that even though microbes come in all kinds of shapes and sizes and stuff, for simplicity, just think of a sphere, and it'd be a 1 micron sphere, okay? That's 1/1000th of a millimeter, okay? So 1 millimeter is equal to 1,000 microns, all right? Now, a mile is 5,280 feet. And 1/1000th of a mile is 5.28 feet. Thus, if a microbe at 1 micron is 1,000th of a millimeter, then you, if you're about 5.28 feet, you're 1,000th of a mile. So that's why I say that a millimeter is like a mile, okay, to the microbes. So if you could shrink yourself down to a microbe, you'd have to walk a mile to equal a millimeter. It's kind of fun to convert common things around you into the microbial world. So to do that, you just convert feet to millimeters to see how many miles things are. So 1 foot equals approximately 305 millimeters or 305 miles in the microbial world. So just look down at your foot and imagine that's a 305 mile shoe or something you got on there, okay? That's the distance from Malibu Beach, California to Las Vegas, Nevada, right there. Imagine you have a shoe on that's as long as from the ocean in Malibu to Las Vegas. Wow. And the ceiling in your 1-story tall house, that's like 10 feet tall, right? 10 feet tall times 305 millimeters per foot equals 3,050 millimeters. So that's 3,050 miles, okay? Space begins at about 62 miles above Earth. Science satellites start at about 3,000 miles above Earth. And so if you were a microbe laying on the floor of your living room, looking up at the 10-foot high ceiling there, that would be 3,050 miles high. Your ceiling would be up with the science satellites up in the sky. That's astonishing. So if your dentist measures one part of your gums as about 6 millimeters deep, that's about a 1/4 inch. In the microbial world, that would be about as deep as the Mariana Trench, which is 6.8 miles deep. And think of all the crazy organisms that live in the Mariana Trench bottom. Crazy. If your average gum depth is 3 millimeters deep, that's like about 3 miles deep, and your usual manual toothbrush and floss can only reach 1.5 millimeters deep, then that's only 1.5 miles. And there's another 1.5 miles basically of garbage that you're not getting from under your gums, okay? That's a lot of garbage under there. Remember, with a sonic brush, you can get about 2.5 millimeters under your gums, but only if you brush exactly like I told you how to do, okay? So even then, you're leaving about 0.5 millimeter or so of garbage down there. Now, if you have 6 millimeter deep gum pockets, wow. And if you brush horizontally sideways, like most people saw sideways on their teeth, and they don't even get the bristles into the gums at all, You're not even really touching any of that stuff under there. I don't care how hard you brush, you're just not getting it, okay? Imagine a 6-mile deep Grand Canyon that's filled to the brim with sewage. And no matter how hard you rinse or squish or swish, you can't get any solution deeper than 1.5 millimeters under your gums, unless you're using some kind of an irrigator that forces it there. A really mind-blowing way to picture the oral systemic link is that if you have average 6-millimeter gum pockets, the size of that, if you were to take the surface area of all the irritated gums and look at it from a microbial standpoint, that surface area of the oral systemic link to a microbe would be about the size of America's 4th largest city, Anchorage, Alaska. Or it would be 3.7 times the area of Los Angeles. Or it would be about 37% maybe of the size of Los Angeles County. That's amazing. It's astonishing. So that's a whole bunch of space that can be infected, okay, and allow toxins to get into your body. And if you don't believe me now or believe me later. Who said that? Was that Arnold Schwarzenegger? Believe me now or believe me later. Yeah.
Yeah, you better be paying attention because we're not working for nothing up here.
Listen, believe this now and believe me later. You know, if you don't think this matters, then maybe you should, maybe we should take a belt to your buttocks muscle until it's all black and blue and swollen.
All right.
Also on the subject of sizes, in the 1980s, the esteemed Dr. Walter Loesch, who was a really great dentist, determined that the teeth surface area that harbors plaque is only about 20% of the total oral surface area that can harbor plaque. If you want to figure out the entire surface area in the mouth that can harbor plaque, it's really giant. It's like 8,742 square miles. And you can see where I superimposed this triangle of about 8,742 square miles over Southern California where I live here. It's amazing. It extends from about Santa Barbara on the northwest to Palm Springs on the east and to Tijuana on the south. That's huge. And I'll tell you something else that's really quite fantastic too. This will really blow your mind. Humans have been abusing sugar for about 300 years now, which is about 300 times 52,560 microbial generations per year. And that's about 15,768,000 microbial generations. And that's equal to approximately 394,200,000 human years. And dinosaurs roamed the earth between 245 to 66 million years ago. So our oral microbes have had way more time to adapt and evolve in our mouths to our sugar addiction that we've had for 300 years than dinosaurs even had a chance to live. So our microbes have figured out really cool ways actually to attack us, guaranteed. Okay, I hope this gives you more insight into our microbial world and why it's kind of useless to brush and floss and rinse twice a day. And you have to do more than that. There's still a big problem with dental prevention not being done right and oral hygiene not being good enough. And you saw that in the 2021 Surgeon General's report that I'm not going to bore you with one more time. I just want to say that to me, dental treatment is only half of a dentist's job. The other half is prevention, and that's way more important. Okay, we're done with that now. The next training will be the Stefan curve, which is really fascinating. This is how you're going to understand how to fight dental problems 24/7 instead of just a measly 4 minutes a day. Okay, so I'll see you next in training 6, which is the Stefan curve. Okay, go team.